I will ring the bell 3 times and invite us to take a few moments of silence, to simply be here, only this moment. Good morning. It's great to be here again, and this such a lovely community, lovely congregation, College Heights. And every time I come here, it always only brings up warm memories. And it's good to be here right now, and I'd like to give thanks and to all of those who were in the rallies yesterday. Thank you for representing what is most important, what this country truly needs. And I would also like to note, how beautiful the weather is today and that it's getting warmer, like spring is truly here. And as we know with the weather, it may rain suddenly. And in our case, even in terms of our internal weathers, things may be bright and sunny, and then later on, we may find ourselves feeling sad. So one of the things that at this time that comes to mind is what happens every evening in Zen monasteries at the end of a day's sesshin. A practitioner strikes a wooden board with a mallet and calls out, "May I respectfully remind you, great is the matter of birth and death. All is impermanent, quickly passing. Be awake each moment. Don't waste this life." In the same way, our Lenten season started with Ash Wednesday, with ashes imposed on our foreheads, reminding us that we are dust, and to dust we shall return. It also marked cleansing and preparing us for the wilderness journey of Lent, a special time of prayer, sacrifice, and good works as we move toward reconciliation, seeking forgiveness for what we have been resistant to in our journey of faith. What we have been resistant to our journey of trusting the process, of trusting the unfolding of our lives towards service, towards Easter. Ashes, as we know, are a symbol of purification. As fire burns, it can separate us from what is valuable from what is valueless. The mark of ashes reminded us that new life emerges from death. And yet today, we are not yet there. We are in the threshold between death and life. We are in that space between life and death. Anthropologists call this space between what was and what is yet to be liminality, the threshold, the in-between, where the old has been stripped away but the new has not yet arrived. This is a place of ambiguity, disorientation, and possibility. And I wouldn't be surprised, like spaces of liminality, this happens in our lives often. When something has died in our lives, something we have lost, something has ended, and yet something has not yet begun. I believe politically, where we're at right now, a lot of things have died. With every change and every chaos that has come up, we're in that in-between space, not yet knowing what that new beginning will be. Poet Jan Richardson captures this ambiguity in her poem, The Liminal Space. Blessed is the space between the no longer and the not yet. Blessed is the space between chaos and the calm. Blessed is the space between the old and the new. Blessed is the space between the ending and the beginning. Blessed is the space between the darkness and the dawn. T.S. Eliot, in his poem, The Four Quartets, aptly describes the tension of this space with these words: "In my beginning is my end. In my end is my beginning." Author William Bridges tells us that the most spiritually fertile part of a person's journey, of our journey, is this liminal space, which he calls the neutral zone, a place of unknowing, where the old has fallen away, but the new has not yet taken form. It is this place, it is this liminal middle where transformation is possible. And this liminal space is unsettling, it is uncertain, and it is holy. Isn't that what Lent is? Lent is a season of thresholds. It is a sacred neutral zone. We let go of what binds us, our attachments, our sins, our certainties, and step into a wilderness where God reshapes us. Today, on this fifth Sunday of Lent, of Passion Sunday, we find ourselves in a sacred pause. No longer at the beginning of the Lenten journey, and not yet at the triumphant entry of Palm Sunday or the heartbreak of Good Friday. We are in between, a threshold, a liminal space. The psalmist in Psalm 19 expresses what to practice during this sacred time. Help me be aware of my selfishness, but without undue shame or self-judgment. Let me feel you present in every atom of my life. Let me keep surrendering myself until I am utterly transparent. Let my words be rooted in honesty and my thoughts be lost in your light. Unnameable God, my essence, my origin, my lifeblood, my home. And as we practice this, we may find ourselves horrified with what comes up. We see our pain, our sadness, our anger, our loneliness, our rage, our lusts, our desires, our anxieties, our self-doubt, self-flagellation. We see our contradictions within, that we are a mixed bag of strong and weak, honest and dishonest, kind and unkind, active and passive, patient and impatient, allowing and judgmental. We sometimes experience things to be tasteless. Life feels dull, we are restless, and we want to flee. We feel trapped in this in-between space of an ending and a beginning that has yet to be. In her book, Listening for God, Bible scholar and minister Renita Weems laments, frustrated to discover that the journey I thought would be a linear tug in one direction has amounted to a journey of lurches and stops. I have been reluctant at times to admit out loud that mine was a journey of growth spurts, followed by what felt like long periods of hushed decay. Then she asks, how do you describe a journey that leaves you feeling sometimes as though you're not getting anywhere? That you're no better off than when you first started? And she says, perhaps the wisest thing to do is to take God's cue and be silent. Such state calls us to confront the reality of death and to embrace the unknown. Such state calls us to dwell in the strain between endings and beginnings, to surrender to the tension between darkness and dawn. As we sit in this vague space, it will be uncomfortable. It will be painful, dull, tedious, monotonous. It will be tempting to try to escape our suffering, to distract ourselves through our internal dramas, fantasies, stories, commentaries, our wish for certainty, for knowing, our desire to get rid of the pain, our longing for comfort, and our prayers for hope and deliverance. And yet, I encourage us to stay and experience the wisdom of not avoiding, the wisdom of not evading, to be only this discomfort, to be only this pain, only the sinking feeling. And I encourage us to only rest, and rest in silence. And to move about with ease, with trust in whatever comes up or shows up internally and externally. Personally, I find this liminal space, this place of ambiguity, this place of neither here nor there, as one of the most difficult places in my life. Because it is a place where I feel most vulnerable. Because it is a place of I don't know. Because it is a place where my notions of what is good, what is right, what should be are shattered. Because it is a place of waiting. Because if it is a place where I have to be still and be with whatever bubbles up, to be with everything that emerges, which aren't always pleasant, which aren't always illuminating, which aren't always blissful. It is a place where my ego has to die again and again. It is a place where my craving, for instance, to get things done immediately, as soon as possible, arises. In my current work, where many things call for my attention, I find myself seeking and creating ways to get things done promptly, efficiently, and effectively. And during these times, one of my great teachers shows up. Our 14-year-old Cody, a 3.1-pound porky, half Pomeranian, half Yorkie, so tiny, and yet has a personality this big. And our 14-year-old pound porky Cody died exactly 2 years ago. To those who have met her, I have often said that she was my constant source of theological reflection. She taught me how to love unconditionally, not because she did, but because she did not. Not because she gave freely, but because she took freely. Not because she was patient, but because she was. It reminds me to be patient, to be very, very patient, to slow down, to truly slow down, and to watch, to wait, and to pay attention. I remember the time of her meandering around our patio, bumping into the iron fence, the lounging chair, the screen door, as she figured her way back to our living room. And when she had sniffed the scent back to our living room and she ambled towards it, I opened the door and waited. As she came close, I coaxed her to step over the threshold. Then she stopped and moved her head around. Something had caught her attention, and she turned around and followed that invisible Pied Piper. I say invisible because to my eyes, there was no one or nothing there. I say silent because I did not hear a sound. I then wondered, what was it that she saw? Now that in her old age, she had gone blind. What is it that she heard? Now that in her old age, she had gone almost deaf. I did not know how her mind worked, although I know how mine works. I know that I can get distracted even if there isn't a sight or a sound that calls my attention. I can get distracted by my notions, by my expectations, my assumptions, my concepts that I veer off toward a different direction. So there was Cody, who once again veered off following what she had sensed. Around and around the patio she went, and I waited for her to find her way back. When she was alive, I gave her a maximum of 20 minutes during the weekdays because I had to head for work. During the weekends, I would join her in the patio, watching how she navigated her way without the benefit of eyesight and hearing. I saw how a once feisty, alert, highly sensitive, and anxious tiny dog has become one who took each step lightly, slowly, and who stopped frequently to tilt her head toward the wind, or the rain, or the sun, and sniff the air. So now, learning from her when I walk from the parking garage to my place of work, the hospital, I now take many stops and tilt my head towards the direction of the wind, or towards the rain and feel it pelt, or towards the sunlight and sniff the air. This practice has slowed me down and expanded my senses. It has taught me to take each assignment, each project, each event one at a time, trusting that all will be well. This practice has meant the dying again and again of that self that craves for certainty, for assurances, for success, for things to happen quickly. And this is a place where I face the fact that nothing can be excluded, that nothing is excluded. As my Zen teacher, Catholic Redemptorist priest Father Greg Myers says, if it excludes anything, it is not real. This liminal space includes everything. It is a place of much potential, a source of creativity, an environment that offers the needed conditions for growth and transformation. It is a place that offers the opportunity for true transitions because it is a place where we are invited to let go of our inner attitudes, of the way we view the world and others, of the way we view our life. We view life and our expectations and demands of it. Because it is a place where we are encouraged to let go of our hopes, fears, dreams, and beliefs that we attach to things and to people. Without this internal process, there isn't true transition. There isn't real change, and we end up mentally and emotionally back to where we started. Despite the external change, the new boss, the new partner, the new place, new car, new baby, new social circles, nothing is really different. So during this time, I encourage us to practice only this with attention, with awareness, with openness, and directly experience the fruit of this practice. In my own practice of neighborhood walking meditation, I have found that looking intently without judgment at the most insignificant things, hubcaps, weathered fence posts, gate latches, bolts on fire hydrants, weeds, trash on the street, and so on, has the most profoundly awakening effect. Paradoxically, in practicing only this, we include everything. We unfold all that comes up with only this. In his poem, Reflective by A.R. Ammons, he says, I found a weed that had a mirror in it, and that mirror looked in at a mirror in me that had a weed in it. I found a weed that had a mirror in it, and that mirror looked in at a mirror in me that had a weed in it. This is the gift of the fifth Sunday of Lent. of Passion Sunday, that in-between place of neither this nor that, of neither here nor there, that in-between place of only this, that includes all. And as we are in this in-between place of only this, may we be encouraged by these words from the mystic Saint John of the Cross. Although it is night. For I know well the spring that flows and runs, although it is night. That eternal hidden spring I know well where it has its rise. I do not know its origin, for it hasn't one, but I know every origin has come from it. I know that nothing else is so beautiful and that the heavens and the earth drink there. I know well that it is bottomless and that no one is able to cross it. Its clarity is never darkened, and I know that every light has come from it. I know that its streams are so brimming they water the lands of hell, the heavens, and earth. I know well the stream that flows from this spring. It is mighty in compass and power. I know that the stream proceeding from these two is preceded by neither of them. This eternal spring is hidden. It is here to call creatures, and they are filled with this water, although in darkness, because it is night.